It's very best bedtime Bible stories for you.
Welcome, children. It's so good to see you again. Oh, my. Hello, and welcome to my house. We're having a slumber party. And even though it's raining outside, it's nice and snugly warm inside. Why, that's a wonderful idea, Buzzy. Why don't you join us? There's plenty of room, and we're always glad to have new friends. My name is Barry Bear, and I'm not just another bear, but a bear with flair, who's debonair beyond compare, without a care, your bedtime Bible storyteller extraordinaire. Ta-ta! Oh, yes, and this is my sweet little friend, Buzzy Bee. He's my contact in the honey business. Keeps me up to date on all the latest supplies of fresh honey. Plus, he's a pretty nice fellow. Buzzy Bee. Say hello, Buzz. What? Oh, of course. These are my very special neighborhood friends. This is Tiffany, Amanda, Nathan, David, and Jessica. Oh, you mean you don't understand bee talk? Well, he says he's awfully glad to meet you. You'll get the hang of bee talk, I'm sure. We're here to tell you bedtime Bible stories. Oh, yes, I'll ask. Are you all ready for bed? Done all you're supposed to do? Have you brushed your face and washed your teeth? What? Oh, dear me. I mean, washed your face and brushed your teeth? Did you now? I know it might be easier to just hop right into bed, but sometimes we have to do things that may seem like a chore, but are very important. Besides, if you don't brush your teeth, you'll wake up in the morning with bad breath. I'll thank you to withdraw that comment, Mr. B. Bear breath is as sweet as honey. Children, you pay no attention to him. What would a bee know about breath anyway? Well, so, you see, children, as I was saying, we all have to do things we may not like or even understand, like brushing our teeth before bed. But, say, that's exactly what our story for tonight is all about. Oh, dear me, no, not brushing your teeth, but about doing the right thing, even when it isn't easy to see the reason why. And that's the story of Noah and the Ark. You've heard of that, haven't you? Well, let's hear the story and see how Noah used his faith to build a huge boat right in the middle of dry land, even though the whole world thought he was crazy. Now, let's see. Noah. Thank you, Buzzy. Here it is. Genesis chapter 6. It all started one day when the Lord looked down from heaven and saw that the wickedness... Oh, you're right, Buzzy. Children, wickedness means doing bad or wrong things. And the Lord saw that the world he had created was full of bad things. So the Lord made up his mind to start over. He would send a flood to cover the earth and wash it clean and make it glow. But just as sure as the Lord had made up his mind to flood the earth, he saw Noah, who was the only good man on earth. The Bible says Noah found grace or favor in the eyes of the Lord. So God really loved Noah. The Lord decided to save Noah and his family from the flood. Noah would help start over. Though Noah could see things weren't going too well on the earth, he had no idea the end was so near. Imagine how Noah felt when the Lord spoke to him. He was taking a nap at the time. Noah. And with that, Noah fell right out of his chair.
Ouch! I must have slept too hard. Oh, is that you, Ham? Or was it you, Shem? Nope, it must have been Japheth. My other son. Yep, that would be just like Japheth.
That's right, Buzzy. Ham, Shem, and Japheth were Noah's sons.
I told you to stop with all the practical jokes. Can't a man get any sleep around here? You'd think after 500 years a man could do as he pleased.
Noah was 500 years old. He tried to go back to sleep.
Now where was I in my dream?
Noah, Noah, listen to the voice of the Lord God.
That's not Japheth. Couldn't be Japheth or Ham or Shem. No, it can be, but...
Noah knew right there and then that he was hearing the voice of God. He knelt and listened. God explained to Noah how he was going to flood the earth, to wash it clean and make it glow.
But Lord, what will I do?
The Lord continued. Noah was silent, except for the knocking of his 500-year-old knees.
Make an ark out of gopher wood.
Forgive me, Lord, but what's an ark?
It's a big boat. So, Noah, go and build a boat.
Noah's knees knocked even louder. He wanted to ask about gopher wood, but he kept quiet.
You shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, male and female.
2 by 2. I get it, I think.
And then the Spirit of the Lord left Noah.
Lord, where are you, Lord? Lord?
Then it hit him. It suddenly became clear that the Lord hadn't told anyone else but him, just Noah, and that he was supposed to build a gigantic boat that would hold 2 of every animal, bird, and creeper on earth, right in the middle of dry land. Noah's heart sank. The whole world would think he was crazy. And how would he build such a big boat?
That's right, boys. Go ahead and laugh now. But just remember how funny it is when the rains come.
But, Papa, how do you know it was really the Lord who spoke to you? How can you be sure?
You want proof, Am? I can't give it to you. That's where you'll have to put your faith in me, the way I've put my faith in the Lord.
But, Papa, why didn't he tell us to build the boat near the water?
Well, now think, Shem. If the whole world is going to be flooded, the water will come to us, won't it?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
And you? Nearly 300 years old. When will you grow up?
Japheth spoke last, and his question was the most troubling to Noah.
Papa, why does God have to flood the earth? And why are we going to be saved?
Noah paused before he spoke.
Son, I don't know. And I'm not happy about it. And I don't think we can understand right now. But if the Lord has a job for us, all I know is that we better do it. He knows best. Now, let's get to work.
After that, Noah had no more questions from his sons. People make fun of Noah and his crazy family, but the ark was built. It took 100 years to do it. God waited patiently. Then, when all was ready, the animals began to arrive. There were aardvarks, badgers, cows, dogs, eagles, foxes, gorillas, hawks, ibis, jaguars, kiwi, lions, mule deer, newts, owls, pigs, quail, raccoons, snakes, turtles. Let's see. What starts with a U? Unicorn. Now, V. This is getting hard. Oh, dear me, yes. Vulture will do just fine. Oh, yes, of course, there were bees and bears, too. And lots more. Of every living thing, a pair, male and female, were on the ark. It took many days to get everyone on board. When the ark was loaded, God shut the door. From a small window in the door, Noah could see the sky getting dark and heavy clouds forming low over the horizon. Then came the thunder and lightning and the loudest rain you ever heard. Noah's sons were afraid. As the rain began to fall, Noah told them to get up and feed the animals. It rained, and then it rained some more. It rained for 40 days and nights. The water was so deep, not even the mountains could be seen. All the life left on earth was on that boat. And then, finally, the rain stopped. God made a wind to dry the earth. Noah and his family were finally able to leave the ark after coming to rest on Mount Ararat. The earth was dry. The Lord said,
Go forth from the ark. Bring forth with you every living thing, that they may be fruitful and multiply upon the earth.
well, when the door opened, you should have seen the animals. They couldn't wait to get off that ark. They ran as fast as they could. Noah and his sons couldn't keep up with them and didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. As they disappeared from sight, Noah felt sad to see them go. He would surely miss them. But in his heart, he was glad to set them free again in God's clean new world. Then Noah made an altar and thanked the Lord. And the Lord offered a sign to Noah, a sign of his love. It was a promise to never again destroy the earth by flood. And that sign was?
A rainbow.
That's right, children, a rainbow. When you see a rainbow in the sky, it's good to remember God's promise to Noah and us, that he would never again destroy the earth by flood. And remember, too, that Noah had the heart to trust the Lord and do his will, even though it required a belief in something unbelievable. Yes, Buzzy, you're right. That's what faith is all about. Now, don't forget to say your prayers tonight. And remember, God loves you and watches over you just like he did Noah. So sleep tight. And here's a song about Noah to help you have sweet dreams.
Oh, Noah, go and build a boat. Oh, Noah, go and build a boat. A seaworthy ship so wide, so tall, for your wife and your children, one and all. Oh, Noah, I'm gonna make it rain. Oh, Noah, I'm gonna make it rain. Gonna flood the earth from head to toe. Gonna wash it clean, gonna make it glow. Better listen to what I say. Better listen close and you better obey. Oh, Noah, gonna make it rain, so go and build a boat.
Oh, Noah, here come the animals. Oh, Noah, here come the animals. I'm sending them to you, coming two by two. Gonna turn your boat into a floating zoo. Oh, Noah, better pack a lunch. Oh, Noah, better pack a lunch.
'Cause the lions and the tigers are a hungry bunch, and I have a hunch they'll be ready to munch. Better listen to what I say. Better listen close and you better obey. Oh, Noah, better pack a lunch. Here come the animals.
All aboard, then God shut the door. Then for 40 days and 40 nights it rained, it poured.
Oh, Noah
Oh, Noah,
and his critter crew love is everlasting love.
His promises are true.
He loved Noah and he loves you.
So put your faith in him, and he may see Cuddle up and snuggle up and listen, you sleepyhead. Cover up and listen up to all the things God said in His holy book. We'll take a look and listen with our hearts. It's bedtime, it's the best
Welcome,
time,
children.
with the very best bear of all.
hello.
It's very best
Oh,
bedtime
hi.
Bible
Hello.
stories for you.
It's very best, very best
Very best
bedtime Bible stories for you.
Hello again, and welcome to my favorite time, bedtime. And you know what that means? Time for another one of my very best bedtime Bible stories. I'm Barry Bear. That's right, the bear with flair, who's debonair beyond compare, without a care, your bedtime Bible storyteller extraordinaire. Oh, yes, and these are my favorite neighborhood friends, Jade, Jillian, Isaac, Daniel, Charissa. Tonight, we're camping out in my living room. We're pretending to be on a wild jungle safari. Well, Buzzy, there's nothing to be afraid of. The only wild animal here is you. Besides, God watches over us always, even on a real safari in the jungle. Oh, yes, of course. God watches over the wild animals, too. Why, he's even ruler over the African lion, the king of the jungle. Why, Buzzy, that's a grand idea. I'll tell you a story that's in the Bible. It has a lion in it. Are you all cozy in the covers? Then fluff up your pillow and get ready for the story of Daniel and the Lion's Den. It's found in the book of Daniel, chapter 6. Oh, dear me. Oh, yes, here it is. A long time ago, a good and faithful man named Daniel lived in the city of Babylon. Daniel was one of the most important leaders in Babylon. There were some bad men who lived in Babylon, and they wanted to be important leaders too. They were jealous of Daniel. So, they planned on how they could get rid of Daniel.
So this Daniel
Okay,
guy, man.
There's
I
got to
think
be
the best
something
thing
that we
to
can do here. There is
is
not
get rid of
one
him.
reason why we
Quiet,
can't.
quiet. You want the palace guards to hear us? Now quiet down and let's figure a way to get rid of this Daniel.
But how can we get rid of him? He never makes any mistakes or does anything wrong. He does all the right things and loves God.
Yeah, and the king loves him too. The king would never do anything to hurt him.
Let me think.
Maybe there is something to his religion. Maybe his God is powerful.
The people in Babylon didn't know there was only one true God. They worshipped many untrue gods.
You know, he prays to his 3 times a day.
Yeah, right down on his knees 3 times a day.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I think you've got something there.
Did I do?
He does?
Yeah. Now listen. what do you do when you go before the king? Come on, what do you do when you go before the king?
You kneel? Yeah, that's it, you kneel.
And the king wouldn't like it if people kneeled to anyone else, would he? Get it? Get it?
You mean like
Daniel kneels and prays to his God. So all we have to do is get the king to make a law saying no man can worship anyone but the king. And if he does, he gets thrown to the dogs.
Thrown to the dogs? That's not mean enough.
No, thrown to the cats?
No. Let's see. I got it. Thrown to the lions.
That's great. I love it.
Yeah, it'll be most appetizing.
Hey, but how do you know it will work? How you gonna get the king to make the law?
We'll appeal to his kingship. No king can refuse the idea of a law like that. We'll tell him it will show him who might be disloyal to him. Get it? Get it? Never mind. Let's go.
You're absolutely right, Buzzy. They are terrible. And with that, they were off to see the king. Of course, the king didn't know they were after Daniel. So he gave in and signed the law.
Hooray!
Hooray! Daniel heard about it. But do you know what he did? That's right, Buzz. He went right on praying to God. And when he did, the bad men were waiting for him.
Gotcha!
Then they ran gleefully back to tell the king about Daniel. The king was very sorry to hear the news.
Oh, me. Oh, my. Oh, goodness gracious.
The conspirators were delighted.
Hooray! Now do your duty, oh most wise king. The law is the law. Throw Daniel to the dogs. I mean, lions.
Yeah, throw him to the lions. Throw him to the lions.
The king was trapped, and he was very sorry because he knew Daniel was faithful to him. He knew now the conspirators were just out to get Daniel. He vowed to himself that somehow he would make things right. But for now, the law was the law.
Oh, very well. I am a king, after all. Throw him to the lions.
The king felt so bad, he went with Daniel to the lion's den.
Well, don't throw him in. Just put him in gently. May the God you prayed to save you now, friend Daniel.
Then Daniel was put inside. The den was sealed, and the king went home to the palace to sleep.
Oh, goodness gracious, I'll never sleep tonight.
And he didn't. The next morning he went rushing back to the den to see what had happened. And he cried out for Daniel as soon as he could see the den.
Has this God of yours saved you? Pray answer and tell me he has.
The first thing he heard was a yawn, 'cause Daniel was waking up from a good night's sleep, right in the middle of all those lions. Daniel was alive. God had saved him. The king was overjoyed. The bad men who'd been watching all this were not so happy.
Whose idea? This was your idea.
Your idea.
No,
I know it was. It was not. I would have never done this. It was not for him.
It was.
What are you talking about?
I
never said nothing. You guys always get me in trouble.
The king put a stop to all that when he said,
Take them away.
and that was that. Then the king made a new law, proclaiming the power of Daniel's God, telling all the kingdom to worship the God of Daniel and Judah. And Daniel prospered. You see, children, even when all seems lost, God's love is still with you. Even down there in the lion's lair, Daniel was safe in God's care. Where can you go that the Father's not there? He's everywhere. And like Daniel, you're safe in his care. Oh, dear me. Well, I think that about does it for tonight's story. You sleep tight. You too, Buzzy. And here's a song to help you remember that just like God watched over Daniel, He's watching over you too, even while you sleep.
Daniel was faithful to pray every day, morning, noon, and night, bowing his head down on his knees, precious in the Father's sight, safe in His care, safe in His care. Daniel was safe in His care, even down there in the lion's lair. Daniel was safe in His care, safe in His, safe in His, safe in His. We will be safe in His care. We are safe, no matter where. He's always there. We'll be safe in His, safe in His care. Sleep sound, you're safe in His care. We should be faithful to pray every day, morning, noon, and night, bowing our heads down on our knees, precious in the Father's sight, safe in His care, safe in His care. We will be safe in His care, no matter where. He is always there. We will be safe in His care.
Hello, parents. This is Barry Bear, and there are more of my very best bedtime Bible stories on audio cassette with a free storybook. Jonah and the Whale, and David and Goliath, and my favorite Christmas stories, Jesus is Coming and The Night Jesus Was Born. They're available at fine Christian bookstores everywhere. Ta-ta.